Hey everyone, welcome back to Throttle Grotto. This week I got some long-awaited parts for the Rabbit, and we're going to install them and see what's going on with the boost. Stay tuned. All right, so I have got some parts for the Rabbit. I'm just going to throw them on the ground because why not? So I got this, I'll just take it out of the bag, this little boost adapter so that I can tap into get a boost signal. It's a pretty simple little product. There you go. Just a little block of aluminum with a vacuum port and an O-ring seal. A couple of pieces of hardware. But then I also got this. Check this out. A Digifiz Mini digital boost gauge. Now it's going to look a little out of place in the car, but it's also kind of fit right in because it's made actually to hit a Mark II switch blank. So if you had a Mark II, you could plug this right into your dash, wire it up, and it would look mostly OEM. I'm not going to do that. I don't have a radio in this car, so I'm just going to make a plate that goes where the radio would have been, and then mount this, mount this in the plate. And it's a pretty simple install. And it's just got a little wiring harness, some vacuum tubing, and the gauge. So if I had another hole in the dash, it would plug right in. But since I have a Mark I, I don't have any more holes in the dash. So let's get started. All right, the first part of this is pretty straightforward. You basically unclip the sensor here, pop it out, hopefully without breaking anything. There we go. So there's the map sensor. This little guy just goes right in place of it, preferably so I can get a boost reading. And it comes with some hardware. And then that just plugs back in. Then we move on to the other stuff. All right, the next step, we're going to cut this thing up. That's an original Volkswagen 2-shaft Rabbit faceplate. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to cut this up. You guys would murder me. You guys would come to my house and literally kill me. But I'm going to use it as a template. So I'm going to grab that piece of ABS and make a little template to hold this boost gauge. Okay, so after some sanding and filing and stuff, looks like it fits pretty good. But the tough part will be now centering the gauge and then figuring out a way to mount it in the car. So let's make a hole for the gauge first. All right, so after a significantly longer time than I expected with some less than ideal fabrication techniques, we have this mounted pretty well in the piece of ABS. So I'm pretty happy. It sits flush. Yeah, it took a lot more trimming and fiddling like a file to get it to where I wanted it, but it sits in there pretty good. It's about as good as I'm going to get with my lack of skills. So that's what it'll look like mounted in the car. It seems like it does okay. Maybe at some point in the future I can find some kind of brushed material that matches this pretty well, and maybe flip this piece over and wrap it with a brushed aluminum wrap or something. But for now, it actually fits in there pretty well. Back to the Digifiz project here. Got the gauge mounted in a little plastic thing to fill the radio panel here. And I did have to play around with the wiring harness a little bit. It came with this little guy here. You can see it's got three-prong wire harness. And I don't know if I can show you this with my big giant hands, but to release the plugs, you just lift up on this little plastic guide here. I did have to change the wiring harness order and use this 4-prong plug that they included so that it plugs into the back of the gauge, just like this. And I do also have a wiring harness diagram online that you can look at. So now it's a matter of getting power, ground, and illumination signals to these wires. And I'll go do that, and we'll hook it up and check. We'll hook it up and check it out. Okay, so now that I've got a few miles on it, it does say that it needs a couple of minutes to calibrate and figure itself out. And that was correct. It does need a few minutes to figure itself out. So I'll see if I can get a little bit of boost in it so you can see what the gauge looks like when it's all lit up and working. Sorry if this is all shaky. I don't have a mount for this right now. All right, so that is one more small job done on the Rabbit. As you can see, I'm losing boost. Like, we knew this already, but a boost gauge definitely proves it. And what a better way to do it than with a cool Digifiz gauge. It's a nice little tool that I can use in the dash. So I didn't get any deals or anything for putting one of these in the car. I just thought it was a cool product, and I thought you guys should know about it if you don't already. I'll put the link to their website below, so you can check them out as well. Now, if I can just figure out how to get this electronic wastegate to act properly, man, this car is going to rip. But it's a project for another day. So until next time, get out there and work on something.